Good morning. Another beautiful day in Southern Oregon. This is really like the first day, morning and night that was really cold, freezing temperatures. The grass is all frozen. It's defrosting now. And so I'm just doing this video because I've been seeing more and more how we need to be like real salvation, the church talks about in the Bible. It's from our minds. It's literally from the entity that talks through our mind. And it talks like it's like whenever you have like self-talk, inner dialogue, that's all the entity. And it's not a good entity, but it's a spirit of knowledge of good and evil that originated, the fall, which was all meant to happen so Jesus could come and save us, and the whole drama, and then he's going to come with an army in 2028, and it's going to be the most dramatic day of world history and his story. And 2028end.com has the biblical truth and the common sense truth that he will arrive on Feast of Trumpets 2028. Gabriel has it exactly right. And it's going to be awesome. We have to be ready. Please practice the religiously and without will the Roy Master's meditation exercise. I'll put links in the description. So we're calm and forgiving. You can't have a bunch of resentment, and anger, and then expect to make it to heaven, because that's obeying Jesus. When we let resentments go by, we don't judge. So anyway, this entity that we all have, unless those rare people that have been totally cleaned out, it talks to us like it's us. So whenever I spend like almost all my time, when I'm working or not, just watching my mind, because the mind, like I was about to do this video and it my mind started talking to me about what I was going to say. The same thing, like even though it's the right thing, it's before the moment, so therefore it's trying to get me to premeditate what I'm going to say so that it will separate me from the common sense Holy Spirit speaking. And it does that to us every day. And just if you just watch it, let it go, come back to the moment. And it's the same thing. I'm going to bring up this subject, which a lot of people think that I'm nuts, but I don't really care. That same spirit talks to us like it's us to others. That about Donald J. Trump, who has promoted even recently what we know is mass genociding millions throughout the globe. It's not even debatable, it's factual. Many doctors exposing it. Many doctors who have been deleted. Some still there on YouTube. You have to search that he's recently promoted this DNA genocidal shots as still life-saving, which is a horrible treachery. It's not even that's something that the pharma mafia and the left does. So he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. He says and has done enough good that people think that he's a conservative, but he's not. He's a wolf. He's actually there's two reputable gentlemen who expose how biblically he fits the exact personality traits, which are very specific, and there's about 15 of them, and I'll put the link of the antichrist. And I know you see that entity of the knowledge of good and evil will immediately tell people that, this is nuts. And to be honest with you, I thought it was pretty crazy at first too, until I really spent the time and was patient and separate from that inner voice to see that it's reality. And one thing that really confirmed it for me was that this so-called assassination attempt was staged. It was so in your face, such a big lie, that it's so shocking, so hypnotizing, that any idea of it being faked is just thrown out by the entity in the mind, and people go along with it and think, no, can't be. But if you look at several facts, and I share this, but nobody hardly ever replies, because it's just they go into immediate denial from the entity of the knowledge of good and evil, and then they think they got it right, but they being deceived that when the firing went off, there is an overpressure to some degree when a high-powered rifle round goes, if it goes by your ear, enters the top of your ear, which insanely Trump in a meeting, in a rally, said, when he was asked, said it went in the lobe. Well, how do you get that wrong? And he also said there was blood all over the place, all over his hand. How do you get that wrong? That there was no blood on his hand. There was no blood dripping. There was no blood on his collar. There was no blood on his shirt. There was 2 strategically placed blood streaks, and then like a clotted blood clump up on his ear. Exactly what you would see for a fake blood situation. And those people were not, as I've read, and you guys can research it, those people that were around him were not Secret Service agents. They were, I believe, DEA, or they were his people, chosen. Those were not professional Secret Service. You could tell by the way they reacted. One of the ladies in video, and this is all on video, like it's not my, conspiracy theory. It's on video and camera still shots. She's trying to holster her pistol when they're going into the van or their SUV, and she can't even get it in a holster. It's like the Keystone Cops. And then they let him up and do his fist pump, which was all staged. Someone who, who would do that, knowing that there's a shooter and might be more shooters, and what kind of Secret Service agent would allow him the space to do that? No, it wouldn't happen. If it was real, even someone like Trump, who's Mr. Macho and supposedly so strong, he wouldn't react like that. He would get the hell out of there. It would scare him. Because it's so shocking, but it wasn't real. And if it was real, his ear and his doctor was saying that Dr. Jackson was saying that he had sustained a 2 centimeter wound. And that's about 3/4 of an inch. That's big. big. There would have been blood. Definitely. Medically, factually, dripping. It's impossible that it wouldn't. Impossible. And then he would have a large shredded scar. They would have had to do massive stitching or maybe some plastic surgery. But what do we get? We get not even a report from the hospital. And we get the lie from on Jackson 2 centimeter. So why would they make up a 2 centimeter wound? Because it wasn't true, but it's a bad lie. Because, and then I heard some right wing like Tim something say, oh, well, it was a little pinhole, shot. Well, no, a 223 round, they also tend to tumble. And again, there's some overpressure. It's not a little pinhole. That would be if it was a pellet or a BB gun, but even then it would bleed down. And and then he's wearing this big, stupid, square patch bandage, which is hypnotic, to show the world, you know, look what, look at me, look at what happened. And then he goes around and lies and says there was blood all over his hand. When you look at the video and the still, he grasps his ear. Okay, supposedly the round went through his top of his ear. Immediately through blood pressure, you got blood all over. It's not delayed. It would be delayed if his heart wasn't pumping. There was no blood there. There was no blood on his hand. Even after, when he's doing his fist pump, there's no blood there. There's no blood immediately. He's lying. He said there was blood all over his hand. Okay, even for an ego exaggerator, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't lie if it was, it's so clear. If you look into it, it's so obvious. So this confirmed to me, and others, many others, that 100% this was the beast that seemed, and that's in the text, biblical text, seemed to receive a mortal head wound because it was faked. And he was miraculously cured or something like that, and the world marveled. Yeah, well, the world's marveling at, oh my gosh, look, they tried to kill him and he's better in 2 weeks. It's like miraculous healing. Unfortunately, medically, again, factually, a 223 wound to the top of the ear doesn't heal in 2 weeks. It just doesn't. But it's a miracle, like the Bible said. The Bible doesn't say that it had to be an authentic miracle. Oh my gosh, it confirmed it. I was like 99% certain, but now like it's 100%. There's no, this is in your face, evil, and he already was evil by going along with the, even lying recently about the clot shots. So you guys who are doubters and think I'm nuts, and other people like me, you best wake up and get separate from that demon of activity of knowledge in your head and the self talk, because it's leading you down the wrong path. And I know you guys, you think you need to vote for him because the left is so bad. They're both really bad. They're both super wicked. But he's even worse because he's on our side, supposedly. So he's fooling people like you who believe him, where the left, we know they're evil. There's no question about it. That's clear out in the open. But this one, they got you guys fooled. So he's actually more dangerous to your souls. And we're in Revelation. We've been since 2021. So the Antichrist comes from the revived Roman Empire. That's the United States. And there's plenty of evidence for that. Plenty. Look at the structures in Washington, D.C., very Roman looking. We had the basis of our laws were Roman, like a representative government. We're going downhill like the Roman Empire did. And we're going to get our Caesar, but it's going to be a worldwide Caesar. Mr. Antichrist. And for those who don't want to actually see this truth, not because I'm saying it or anybody else, but because you actually do the research, if you don't want to, that's fine. You're gonna end up seeing it, and I just hope it's not too late for you. That you would see your denial and your submission to the knowledge of good and evil in your head. Anyway, thanks for watching. We've gone about 15 minutes. God bless you. I will put links in shortly in the description, and please practice that Roy Master's meditation exercise. It's very, very it's silent prayer. It's actually prayer. It's way better prayer than talking to God. It's something that churches have lost sight of, and really, it's just works so simply and so good. It saved my life and so many people. And again, I'll put the link in that too. God bless. Bye bye.